Hello there, buddy. McVonatron here, bringing you another video. Alright, so today we are going to be playing Taven Quest. This is a game where we are now the controllers of the game, and we're helping a guy named Steve out. Let's see if we could make his life anything better than what it is. Probably not, because our decision makings are very, very poor. Let's get into this. Alright, run Taven Quest. Alright, new game. Alright, user login. Steve, password. What are your passwords, Steve? Alright, weak password. Weak passwords. Alright, ready. This me? Okay, run Taven Quest. Hello, I'm the CPU. You must be the new program. You are now some sort of the game called Taven Quest. I need to initialize you real quick. If you click the button on that says continue. I'm guessing I pressed that? Makes sense to me. Okay. As a CPU, I coordinate between you and the user named Steve. You can see on the screen on the left, he types commands to us, and we work together to correspond them. Initializing program. Okay. Good for me. Good for you. So listen, I've known Steve for a while now. Frankly, many of his commands are strange and ill-advisable. Well, that's already pretty bad news. However, no matter how dumb his commands are, you must decide how the game corresponds to Steve. Alright, so obviously it sounds like we gotta save our buddy Steve here. I guess we'll find out. Alright, gotcha. We're gonna save Steve. We should welcome our friend Steve to your game, and let's add the tail line to our start sequence. What do you think we should do first? Something welcoming, something lighthearted, something foreboding, something rebellious. Well, I mean, if I don't know what Steve is trying to do. Is he trying to pick up the ladies, or is he trying to do something else? I don't know. Let's see. Is my audio blowing me apart? It is. It's blowing me a fuck apart. Stop it. Hang on, give me a minute. Just the audio was a little loud. Alright, let's add some tail lines. Okay, so what are we gonna do for let's see. I really don't know what we're doing, but you know, we're gonna go with the rebellion. No, we'll do welcoming. We'll be nice to Steve.
Running Taven Quest. Welcome home, adventurer.
Glad to be back. Get some comfortable and sit tight.
Loading.
I estimate
Please
that
wait.
the loading should take 10 to 30 minutes. I just don't have that time. Oh my god. Can we speed this up a little bit? If you hold the left mouse button down hard, you can actually see the process thing go faster. Does it? Does it? Does it really? Oh yeah, it does.
Loading complete.
Nice. Alright, that helps. Alright, hey, it's done. Cool. I'll take it. Done. Over with. Feel free to click and hold things to make them move faster at time. Got it. Before we begin, I should explain the cardinal mandate. Okay, what is the cardinal mandate? We exist to serve the user. Whenever the user is trying to accomplish our cardinal mandate. Steve is trying to win Taven Quest. Taven Quest is considered to be won once the princess is saved. Got it, save the princess. That's our main goal, saving that princess. Nothing else matters. Cardinal mandate must be satisfied. Got it. Excellent. Excellent. You are ready to run. Yes. I couldn't see myself doing anything else at the
version
moment.
1.1. Type new game to begin.
Alright, Steve, type new game. Here's a fun fact. Did you know I was originally designed for sophisticated government research, artificial intelligence, quantum physics, cutting edge stuff? Man, and here we are doing this bullshit. Steve pretty much just uses me to play the game, though. Man, wow. Lacklustered much. Yeah, really, why does Steve even have access to a computer if he's this ill-advised of himself? To be fair, he does sometimes use me for his schoolwork. He's definitely failing algebra again. I honestly don't see how he'll graduate at this rate. Good question, good question. Alright, type new game, Steve. New game. Tell me, do we start off with the tutorial or just kind of throw Steve in the middle of things and tough it out? You know, You know, let's give him the tutorial. Let's give him it. Be kind.
The tutorial.
Intro.
This interactive lesson will teach you the basics of playing Taven Quest.
Just gonna speed it up. Okay, it's time to teach Steve how to play the game. So it starts with the classroom. Time to exercise our world building skills.
You are in a classroom.
Isn't it amazing how avocative the written words can be? We should describe the classroom a bit more. Perfect. No notes. That's right. Perfect. No notes. Hey, is this the font okay? Is the text too slow? If you want to change things up to font text speed, feel free to open up the menu. Okay. Oh, okay. I see. No, there's no need for such things. Next time teaching Steve. First commands.
There is something written on the blackboard at the front of the classroom. Type read blackboard to see what it says.
Reading the blackboard. Leave classroom. To tell you that Steve has an aversion to reading anything or following any directions. However, this command he entered somehow manages to be completely valid, unfortunately.
Whatever reason you had for being in the classroom is seemingly irrelevant. Immediately after taking your seat at your desk, something causes you to abruptly reverse course, stand up, and head straight for the exit. You decide not to read the blackboard. The information written there holds no significance to you, apparently.
That said, while we should react to the commands he sends us, this doesn't mean he necessarily has to succeed. We need to keep Steve in the classroom. How do you want to teach him? The teacher stops him. He exits the classroom into an identical classroom. He instantly dies. Well, I mean, one of the best ways to keep somebody in the classroom is to kill them. But you know what? We're just going to make this impossible for him by doing this.
You leave the classroom, closing the door behind you. On the other side of the door, you find another classroom that is completely identical in every way to the one you just left. You happily take a seat at your desk in this new doppelganger classroom.
Yep, backroom stuff here. Backroom stuff here. I should probably have that off a little bit. Off kiltered. Talk about my mic because maybe that's my issue. A little bit off, not like on top of me. All right, hold on. Oh, all right. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. Probably not right in front of me anymore. All right. Okay. Let's just send in the teacher before Steve can sow any more chaos. Right. So, our player Steve will interact with many NPCs, non-NPC characters throughout the game. Sorry. Well, it's late at night. Throughout the game, this teacher is one such NPC. What kind of character would you like to make him? A pale young elf, a bearded old man? Well, I mean, anybody listens to a bearded old man.
At this point, the teacher walks into the classroom and sets his things on his desk. He is as old as his beard is long and gray, though he maintains remarkable posture, and his purple scholarly robes are neat and well-pressed. "Hello, dear player," he says. "I am Tutorial Terry, the teacher of all things Taven Quest."
What do you say we increase Tutorial Terry's sarcasm level? Oh, yeah, raising that to 100%. Listening to a sarcastic old bastard.
I have the wonderful privilege of teaching you the commands you'll need throughout your noble quest. That is, if you can possibly restrain yourself from trying to flee the premises, says Tutorial Terry. You strike me as somebody who could really use some practice with social interaction. So why don't we give that a try? Type Talk Tutorial Terry, if that's not too difficult for you.
Hope you can manage that. Oh, there you go. The attack command by itself is pretty vague. In a case like this, we have to fill in the narrative gaps ourselves. What does Steve actually say to Terry? Something sassy.
You say, "Don't tell me when to talk. I facilitate my own destiny, and I will not suffer myself to dance at your beck and call." Tutorial Terry replies, "Oh boy, let me guess. You aren't the average adventurer. You're a lovable rogue who plays by his own rules. How original and refreshing."
Yeah, give Steve what he wants. Give him the, what's it to you here. Next up, the inventory. I'll explain it a bit more. Steve opens it. Okay, Steve's opening the inventory now.
Next up is the inventory. Do tell me if I'm going too quick for you, he continues. Believe it or not, the inventory is where items are stored. Why don't you type inventory and see what valuable items you brought with you?
Alright, go type inventory, Steve. Do us all solid here. Alright, he's throwing us constantly into the combat encounter. We have decided that Steve is carrying a kind of weapon yet. How about you give him a sword of training? He doesn't have a weapon. Yeah, we'll give him a big old sword here.
You hold your wooden sword of training to Tutorial Terry's neck. What did I just say? I am not your performing monkey. You don't own me.
Remember, that's for any combat encounters you aren't in control of, Steve. You control the enemy he's fighting. Your goal is for Steve to win and for you to lose. Try to avoid moves that cause Steve to take a lot of damage or will be here all day. Steve, not much of a swordsman.
Combat. Type Help Combat for list of battle commands.
Combat difficulty easily.
You unsheath your sword of training and swipe at Tutorial Terry.
Well, I mean, he's supposed to win. Then we're gonna go attack the leg.
Tutorial Terry pulls out his own sword of training and whacks you on the leg. What a great way to start your adventure! Antagonizing the tutorial guide, he says.
Alright, good. Only takes 5 damage. We're doing it. We're making Steve look important.
You strike Tutorial Terry in the chest.
Okay. Good. I mean, he's supposed to win this. Super Death Punch doesn't seem like something I should do. Alright, we're gonna do a good old little slap.
You know, I just love how many of my students tried to murder me,
says Tutorial Terry.
You should have surrendered when you had the chance.
He hits you with an ineffectual tickle slap.
I mean, I don't really know how that works.
You bash Tutorial Terry in the head with the hilt of your sword of training.
Oh, okay. Hey, wow, he wins. Hooray.
You finish bashing in Tutorial Terry's head as he falls limp to the floor.
I have bested the tutorial boss,
you say.
Clearly, I should win some sort of award for being so gallant.
Steve won this easily encounter, but expect him to retry ad nauseum if he ever loses a fight. Okay. Loot Tutorial Terry. Not sure what educational value of this tutorial is anymore. Over there robbing my
Should
corpse.
I perhaps perform CPR on this poor fellow?
You wonder aloud. You instead start rifling through Tutorial Terry's pockets.
Let's check if he's wealthy first. I wouldn't want to waste my time.
And if you choose multiple options at once, decide which one of these items, if any, Steve takes from you. You know what? We'll just get out of this. Okay, I see. So there we go.
You take Certificate of Tutorial Completion.
Tutorial is super dead, but can bring him back to finish off the tutorial. Every NPC has a corresponding template stored alongside them, which contains everything we need to spawn them back in. We're just gonna let him stay dead. We're just gonna let him stay dead. Well, that didn't exactly go as planned, but he's apparently grown tired of the tutorial. I don't expect him to be anything better than the main character, but what can you do? Well, we're going to limp him along to get him there.
You fill in
He's
your
gonna
name
be the
on the
best
Certificate
guy.
of Tutorial Completion and forge Tutorial Terry's signature, thereby formally completing the tutorial.
Yeah, just cramming. Just gonna just shit, I don't have anything to make it look like as if I'm forging a signature, but I do have something. I will just just bring it up here. There you go, signature. Forged it for him. All right, let's move on here.
Act 1. The Tavern. You have just entered a small, rowdy tavern on the outskirts of the village. A grumpy barkeep polishes a mug behind the counter. Most of the noise in the tavern emanates from a table of boisterous dwarves.
Of course. As I see, Steve needs to be saved. The princess. Steve plays the noble adventurer Winlail, whose father sends him on the quest.
You recall that you've been meaning to read an important note from your father in your inventory.
Steve must find his way to Fantasy Mountain, slay the dragon, and rescue the princess from her tower. Then they ride off into the sunset together, and the cardinal mandate will be satisfied. And maybe, just maybe, Steve will have done something worthwhile for once. Wow. Finally, making Steve useful. That's going to be my mission here, making him useful. Really, win the game. Come on. Come on, Steve, you're embarrassing me. Steve spends many hours playing this game. He always tries to take the shortcuts. Don't tell me this is somehow valid. You know what? Again, mission is to have Steve win.
You win! Thank you so much for playing.
Great job. Steve wins the quest. So, what happens now is that Steve won. He wins peacefully and retires.
After a long and arduous journey from the outside of the tavern to the inside of the tavern, your quest is finally completed. You retire to a nice farm upstate where a host of peasants do all of your work and you get everything you desire simply by asking for it. How nice it is to be a noble, not to be bothered by silly quests and such. Play again? Yes or no?
Yeah, let's see. Are you going to play again? Yes. Well, he wants to keep playing. Maybe typing win game wasn't fulfilling enough. Well, I tried.
Act 1. The Tavern. You have just entered a small, rowdy tavern on the outskirts of the village. A grumpy barkeep polishes a mug behind the counter. Most of the noise in the tavern emanates from a table of boisterous dwarves. You recall that you've been meaning to read an important note from your father in your inventory.
What are you doing? Look, bartender. Bartender, what's on the earth is the bartender. Another word for barkeep. Well, syntax is important. Yes, whatever syntax is.
You look around for a bartender, but all you can find is a barkeep. Is the barkeep good enough instead of whatever a bartender is? Yes or no?
What are you going to tell us here, Steve? What are you telling us? Yes, okay.
The barkeep
Good
hollers
enough.
at you. Hey, you gonna order a drink or just keep gaping about the room?
Okay, alright, good. At least he's somewhat doing something. How's the drink menu at the tavern? We'll go with classy.
All right, old top. What's your poison? Says the barkeep. We got ale, mead, grog, wine, and club soda.
What are you gonna pick, Steve? What are you picking? Yeah, of course.
The barkeep chuckles. We really only serve one drink. The others are just false choices to make you feel more empowered.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
He slides a mug of ale to you across the counter. It costs you 2 gold.
Does Steve even have 2 gold? I don't think he's bothered to check the inventory yet. Well, we already said he spent 2 gold. How much gold should Steve have remaining? He's got to win this, so he's gonna have 998 gold. Okay, now we have at least that settles if even managed to open his inventory. Hey, he's doing all right.
You throw the contents of the mug of ale down your throat and wipe the foam off your mouth. The barkeep immediately snatches your empty mug and compulsively begins polishing it.
Looks like barkeep has a quest to offer.
Say, you look like the adventuring type,
Says the barkeep.
How about you clear out those dratted rats in my basement? I'll reward your efforts, of course.
There you go. That's a hell of a quest.
Accept quest from barkeep? Clear a basement of rats? Yes or no?
Better take that, Steve. Some good business. Getting some free drinks. Don't. Oh, okay. You had me worried there. I got you, bro. Steve is supposed to type yes or no. What does this command? Steve accepts the quest.
Only an adventurer as noble as I could possibly aid this distraught citizen, you ponder aloud. You carefully consider the right words to put the troubled barkeep's mind at ease. Don't worry, I got you, bro.
What does the barkeep say? Good luck. Gotta make Steve feel important.
Good luck, fair adventurer,
Says the barkeep.
may the gods ever be with you.
Was he being sarcastic?
Go basement.
You throw open the basement door and walk down a narrow, creaky stairway to the basement.
The basement contain rats, barrels, and a cabinet. Should our description of focus, atmosphere, or efficiency? Atmosphere.
The basement is chilly and damp, and the air is tainted by a ratty odor from the many rats scurrying
Gotta
about the
make
floor.
Steve
The corners
look
are outfitted with
great.
generic barrels, presumably full of ale, and an ornate cabinet adorns the far wall.
Talk rats. Is that a thing? Do they even talk? You know what? This game now has talking rats. That's a thing.
You clear your throat and try to recollect some of the phrases you learned back in middle school rat squeaking class.
Eek, 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 eek. I command you to get hence.
You attempt to squeak to the rats.
If these rats are going to live in my country, they ought to learn English anyway. Is there a translator amongst you?
You ask the rats. The rats continue scurrying about for a minute. Finally, a rat stands on his hind legs and, to your bewilderment, speaks back to you.
I
I
am a
was not
delegate sent from the rats of
expecting
Basementia. According to due process, we have put the issue to a democratic vote. I must unfortunately inform you that the referendum failed to receive a necessary 2/3 majority, and the denizens of Basementia will not surrender per your command. I must also unfortunately inform you that forced deportation is a ratified war crime. No pun intended. Good day, sir.
Oh no. All right there, everybody. I'm going to stop it right there for now. We'll pick it up again. But so far, our buddy Steve is going to make a mess of things here with trying to pick a fight with the rats. So until next time, talk to you then. Bye-bye.